Yeah, they got a gate on here. This can't be right. I think the gate was 16.76 million. Attendance was 20,062. Tai Tuivasa and Duplessis got the performance of the night, and then fight of the night was the O'Malley fight. The kid comes in on short notice, wouldn't go away on a win, fought his ass off, and he deserves. And bonuses were $75,000. So congratulations to all of them.
Dana, got to get your thoughts on the. Had a great fight while it lasted, and then kind of a bizarre ending. So talk about your immediate reaction to that.
Yeah, these second leg break, and the last 3 fights or something. It sucks. It's brutal. It's not the way you want to see fights end. So Dustin Poirier will fight for the title, and Conor's healed and ready to go. You do the rematch, I guess. I don't know.
Obviously it appeared a pretty clear leg break. Do we have official medical confirmation?
He goes into surgery in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to speak to him at all before he was transported?
Just when I was standing in the octagon.
Yeah. You said it right there. You said do the rematch, right? He said he thinks the rivalry isn't over. Do you feel that way, that the rivalry isn't over? It needs to happen?
Listen, the fight didn't get finished. You can't have a fight finished that way. So, we'll see how this whole thing plays out. Who knows how long Conor's out? So, Poirier will do his thing until Conor's ready.
Yeah, you said it. Obviously that's the fight to make, the title fight. Did you speak to Charles or Dustin? Any idea how soon they'd like to fight?
No.
Did want to ask you about Gilbert Burns as well in the co-main event. Obviously not the most exciting fight, but a big result against a top contender. What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, he won. What else is there to say about the fight? It wasn't a good fight, but he won.
Yeah. He had 3 call-outs. He said Masvidal, Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz. You got all those guys at the top knowing that we're waiting on the title fight. Do any of those matchups stand out to you as one that makes sense for him?
Yeah, obviously Edwards and Masvidal make more sense than Nate does. But I don't know. Right here, right now, it's the last thing I'm thinking about.
And I did want to ask you about Sean O'Malley. He got a huge pop in there tonight. As you said, I don't think he did anything wrong in there. The other guy was just incredibly tough. So what did you think about him and kind of where he stands? He seems like just becoming a massive star. Yeah,
listen, he did what he was supposed to do. He stayed on his feet, kept moving, hit the guy with tons of combinations, didn't gas out while doing it. He was looking at the clock a little bit there in the fight. But, when you're in there against a zombie, I could just imagine what it's like. So I thought he put on a good performance.
Yeah. Last thing for me, I just meant to ask you earlier. I know you say this is fight business. People are going to say mean things, but did you have any disappointment in Conor, still chirping at Dustin while he's sitting on the ground?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear one word of it.
He brought his wife back into things.
I don't like that. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. Leave people's family and wives and, all that stuff out of it. Family has nothing to do with it.
Dana, to your left. What do you make, one of the things Conor said at the press conference the other day was he doesn't count submissions, that, he's 19-1, right? Or whatever his record will be without submission losses. So here he's out there going for guillotines. So the fact that guys says he doesn't count it, why was he going for a guillotine?
Listen, you say a lot of things at press conferences, and when you're in a fight, guillotines are part of the sport. So if it's there, you take it. And it was actually a very risky move for him to take that. I think if you're going to take it, you keep it standing and try to do it standing instead of going to the ground. But, you're in the heat of the moment. And
you probably had a good view of that across the octagon. Did you think Conor was badly hurt when the round ended, forgetting the ankle, just from the punches that Dustin was landing? He landed a lot of big shots from the top, and then the left hand that knocked him down. Did you think Conor was in bad shape just from, being buzzed?
I think he got, he definitely was on the receiving end of some elbows and some punches, but that's part of the game. Everybody takes that.
I guess what I'm saying is, do you think that would have been a situation where you might have seen Dustin finish it if Conor hadn't gotten injured like that? You see what I'm saying?
Well, he got back up on his feet and was throwing punches. His ankle snapped from throwing punches. He was fighting back. It wasn't like he was up against the cage and defenseless and Dustin was on low.
Dustin landed a punch that knocked him down, and that's why his leg collapsed back on. Dustin landed a left hand that knocked Conor back, and and when he got
Listen, I don't know. Only Conor knows the answer to that question. But if his ankle doesn't break, I think we get to the end of the round and go to round.
What do you make of Dustin's performance? I mean, he had, he took a couple shots early, and he shows a lot of resilience as a fighter, right? I mean, is that what you make of it?
Yeah, the shitty part for Dustin is that he gets out of the guillotine. He's got the top position, lands great elbows, punches, ends up winning the round, and then Conor breaks his ankle and so the storyline is, Conor broke his ankle instead of Dustin looked good.
Last thing, do you think that a Poirier from, say, 2016 or 2015 after the Conor loss would have been able to do this, right? I mean, it seems like the passage of time and the experience he's gained has made a big difference in him being able to weather that storm that Conor put on him and then still come back and put on a good performance and win the fight.
I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, the Dustin from then out in the first round. So this Dustin took some big shots and was able to get out of the guillotine and turn that guillotine into an advantage for him.
Just what is the key to that? Like, from your standpoint, is it just experience and having been in those situations? Do you think that fighters learn that?
Yeah, well, what I think it is for somebody like Dustin is, this guy's at the American top team and he's training with savages every day. That's the key to everything. I mean, even in boxing, you have to have the best guys in the world around you, going at it with you every day.
Dana, right here.
Yeah.
Right. What did you agree with the stoppage in the O'Malley-Moutinho fight? Moutinho was very upset when Herb Dean stopped it with 30 seconds left.
I think it could have been stopped 3 minutes before that. He could have stopped it in the second round. That fight could have and should have been stopped at any moment. I had no problem with that stoppage.
And what did you make of Tai Tuivasa's knockout over Greg Hardy? It kind of looked like it was chaos in there for a bit until he landed a big bomb, and now he's doing shoeies with everyone in the arena. It looks like he could be a big star, too, moving forward in that division.
He's a fun heavyweight. He's a fun guy to watch, and, he's a fun guy in the octagon and out of the octagon.
And then finally, Ilia Topuria, he was the first one to stop Ryan Hall inside the octagon, even though what did you make of Ryan Hall doing his rolls in there and then Ilia Topuria just walking away and then diving in and finishing him?
Listen, everything that kid's done before this has worked, Tonight it didn't.
Hey, Dana.
Yep.
Right over here.
Hey.
Hypothetically speaking, if Dustin beats Oliveira and becomes the champion, would you want Conor to fight him for a title shot, or would you want him to fight someone else to earn the title shot?
All that stuff, you can't do the hypotheticals in this sport. It's all about timing and what's going on, what has happened since then. We got to see how this whole thing plays out. Don't even know how Conor goes into surgery tomorrow. I don't know how long he's going to be out, how much rehab or therapy he's going to need. And.
And lastly, Tai Tuivasa, when he gets the victory, he does the shoeies. The crowd loves it. Do you think we can make that a tradition? If he gets the victory, he does a shoey on the cage.
Make it a tradition?
Tradition.
I don't know. I mean, that's up to him. He's been doing it since he won, hasn't he? I mean, since he's been here. He goes out and does a shoey with everybody ever since he got here, right? Sounds like it's already a tradition.
All right.
Yeah.
Dana, to your right.
Hey.
Do you have any update on how many stitches Jessica I got in the forehead there?
That's a good question. 13? 13 stitches.
Dana, over here to your right.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What'd you think about that fight, though, in the cut, though? That was a nastier one that we got there.
Yeah, that was a beauty, man. She's tough. She's tough as nails. There's a logical thing that happens to you when you get split wide open like that, and blood is running all over your face, into your eyes, and you can see it on the camera. But especially for a woman, and she's tough, man. She's a gamer.
And then as for the other woman who won on the card, Irene Aldana, what do you think of her?
I thought she looked incredible tonight. I thought she looked incredible tonight. I didn't. This thing. What am I doing wrong? All done wrong? Yeah.
Just like that.
I didn't see the fight ending like that. I thought that was going to be a much tougher fight. She made it look easy. She didn't have a mark on her face. And, yeah. This mic sucks. It's not me.
There you go. It's been like that all night.
All right.
Dana, over here to your right.
Is it kind of exciting for you to have this emergence of Mexican stars, though? That, I mean, she's been
Yeah.
around for a while, but she's
Yeah.
continuing to look great.
No, she continues to get better in every performance. And I think tonight was a real coming out party for her, man. And to be honest with you, when I think about it, she should have been up for a performance. You know what? I'm going to give her some money. Thank you for bringing her up.
Yeah, of course.
But we're going to pay her some more money too. Remind me of that, because I'll forget.
All right, and last thing for me, Dana. We know that you're going back to Fight Island in October now. Is it just going to be for the one event, or are you going to do multiple while you're over there?
Oh yeah. No, it's going to be. I've been talking about how I can't wait to share with you guys all the stuff we're doing. I just haven't gone there yet. I got to get back to Abu Dhabi and have some meetings to get everything finalized out there. Abu Dhabi is going to be a very big UFC for the next however many years.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Dana, were there any decisions or stoppages that you disagreed with tonight?
Your mic's worse than mine.
I better get closer. Any stoppages or decisions that you disagreed
Now we got a plane. All right.
I know,
This
perfect.
is fucking awesome. What are we on the runway here?
Should I go a third time?
Back to the apex.
Back to
Any stoppages or decisions that you disagreed with tonight?
any what?
Or decisions?
I disagreed with? No. I listen. Like I said, could have been stopped a round earlier. I mean, that guy took some serious punishment. We sent him right to the hospital. No stopping, no talking, no nothing. Right to the hospital.
Gotcha. Which fighter or fighters impressed you most tonight?
Which one
Which fighters impressed you the most?
impressed me the most? I mean, it was a great card. A lot of kids look really good tonight. But the Irene Aldana fight, I thought Irene looked awesome. I thought O'Malley, taking on a zombie that wouldn't stop coming forward at him, no matter how. We all know O'Malley hits like a truck. That kid has one punch knockout power, and he hit this kid with everything he had: kicks, punches, you name it, and he couldn't stop him. And I thought he held his composure really well. I'm obviously tied to it. I mean, I could go on and on, except for the co-main event.
Yeah, absolutely. And last for me is the fact that Irene Aldana missed weight something that could go against her as far as you getting her another fight with a higher ranked contender? Is that a factor, or can you forgive that and let her go on to bigger and better? My mic must be really bad.
I'm on top of shit. I didn't know she missed weight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that's something we need to talk about. I didn't even know that.
Understood. Thank you.
To be fair,
Dane.
Yeah,
Dana right here,
yeah,
right over here on your right, Dana.
yeah.
This is your big night back in Las Vegas, not at the Apex. You filled up T-Mobile. Was it what you expected? I'm assuming you've thought about it quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the buzz and the energy here was awesome. Yeah, it was a good show. You don't ever want to see a main event end like that, but it happens. It's a contact sport.
You talked a lot about, on the broadcast, the most celebrities who have requested tickets. I'm assuming you have a lot of celebrity friends. What's your nice way of telling them, I don't got any more tickets?
This was the one that we had to do it to a lot of people. We had to tell them we don't have any more tickets. This thing sold out so fast and filled up so fast. For instance, I was just telling somebody the other day, you guys know who Coach Brent Venables is, the defensive coordinator for Clemson. The night we were in Abu Dhabi and Poirier won the fight, he texted me that night for tickets for the rematch. So that's how early we were getting ticket requests. So, yeah, and celebrities are used to calling last minute, and nobody got any last minute tickets.
To talk about, in boxing, obviously the Tyson Fury fight got canceled due to COVID. You obviously are now not competing with them, with Sanhagen and Dillashaw. Just what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, that might have hurt a bit of the ratings a little bit for UFC.
No, I don't think about that at all. Listen, I used to 15 years ago. I don't worry about that anymore at all, because it never has happened. And one of the things that we've learned over the last however many years is when you have two fights same night, as long as you're not really stomping all over each other, you actually do pull a better number. Because as fight fans, we're a bunch of sickos, and we will figure out a way to watch both of them at the same time. I've done it a million times. You know, even recently when we've had some boxing events going on at the same time. I mean, even at the Apex, on in my room in the back, whatever whatever the boxing fight is, or I'll have them put it at my table. So fans do the same thing. I actually think it helps everybody when we do it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, down to your left over here, Dana.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, we all saw what happened, but any other details? Like, do we know it was the ankle, the lower leg? Do we know exactly what it was?
It looked like the ankle to me, but I'm
Yeah.
no doctor. You know, once they get in and do the X-rays on them and look at it, you know, they'll know exactly what's wrong. I mean, we'll probably know. You know? What? Lower tibia of the shin, I guess.
Wow. I should have just texted Hunter.
I don't know how the fuck they figured that out that quick, but
And
touche.
did you get a chance to speak with Conor or anyone from his team before?
No, I only in the octagon I saw him.
Thanks, Dana.
All right,
Dana,
go ahead. Oh no, behind you. He was like next 5 guys ago. Yeah, you.
hey, thanks, Dana. I was just wondering, you talked about, you kind of mentioned the celebrities and so forth, but what did Donald Trump say? What did you say to Trump? There was a chant, go, USA, USA. It was,
No, I met him outside and walked in with him and nothing. Just he's a fight fan here to see the fights tonight. That's it. You know, I've been friends with this guy for years and just 2 friends who are fight fans watching a fight.
Dana, how come the bonuses were 75 grand tonight? What was the decision behind that?
You know, I was in there giving the fighter meeting. It's a big fight. I was getting all fired up and I just said, fuck.
Same way,
Yeah.
just like being at the tables, just getting carried away.
Yeah, we get a little fired up in the fighter meeting sometimes, and
Is there any chance you could just make them 75 grand going forward?
probably not.
Thanks.
Dana,
Seriously, fuck up our budget.
we're all like, kind of to your center, like right there.
Hi,
You go,
hi.
hey.
How are you?
So good things. So Conor McGregor is probably the most successful athlete in terms of being a brand in UFC. You've got Dustin who has the hot sauce and he's making some headway with that. What are the conversations like that you have with fighters about taking advantage of their moment and really being able to capitalize on their brand, not just as a fighter?
It's so hard to do because, you know, you're dealing with grown men and women and you can't tell people how to spend their money. You can't tell people, you know, the one thing that I always tell them is please pay your taxes. That's the one thing that you don't want to screw up and get behind. And to be honest with you, I mean, probably one of the most successful brands too is Ronda Rousey. You know, I was just with her a few days ago over at the Apex. I mean, this girl owns more houses than I don't know, bought a house in Hawaii, and she's starting a new business, and she's doing this, she's doing that. She's got a new TV show. I think she has really done a great job of capitalizing on you know all the money she's made, and is continuing to make tons of money outside the octagon. She retired, so but you either got it or you don't, right? I mean. It's like you could take 5 different business owners. One is a great businessman and does everything right and blows you know the business out of the water. One's okay and the other 2 are terrible. You know, you have to have it. If you have it, you do. If you don't, you don't. But you can't tell these kids how to spend their money.
Dana,
Yeah.
right here.
Yep.
In the midst of the NBA finals and the Wimbledon finals and the Euro finals, this event tonight was the global epicenter of sport. This organization has jumped leaps and bounds beyond mainstream. Tell me a little bit about what that means to you personally and how now you believe the UFC is viewed in regard to topic A is UFC over all of that around the planet.
Thank you, sir. First of all, and you know, Eric, my social media guy, came to me. I don't remember what time it was tonight, but he said we're trending #1 in every country in the world right now. We're trending #1. So, you know, little things like that, and I always knew that this would, and I'm so crazy driven to make it the biggest sport in the world. And I feel like over the last year and a half, a lot of people have gotten soft and lazy and complacent, and I'll run right over all of them. That's the way that I look at it, and I look forward to it.
Dana over here on your right. Right over this way.
Yep.
So all week you were saying most pre-buys ever, most pre-buys ever. Do you have that number in front of you right now, or do you have an estimate of that number?
Yeah. I was all about that right before the ankle break. I didn't even. So I'm thinking that I know that the 8 o'clock we were over 1.2 million buys just in the U.S. So my assumption, I have to be careful with this stuff now because we're a public company and I can't go out shooting my mouth off and have it be, completely wrong. But I'm going to say that we came in anywhere between 1.7 million and 1.8 million.
That's fantastic, Dana. Obviously, a huge week, a lot of obstacles in the way. What was the biggest challenge of setting up this fight week?
This was a typical fight week. The worst part of this week was tickets. Tickets is this job. I hate it. I've been doing it for 20 years. And when people ask me, when you retire, what will you be excited about? I'll be excited about not doing tickets anymore. That's about it. Every other aspect of this job I love. Or tickets suck. It's the worst part of this job. It's like a wedding every weekend. I'm doing a wedding and seating people, and nobody's happy with where they're sitting. And this guy's in front of me, and that guy's behind me, and you know how that goes. Especially when you get celebrities and all that shit. It just and fighters. You seat these guys. I could bitch all night to you about tickets.
Dana, you said you had words with Conor in the cage. What were the words?
No, I just looked at him. I said, "How you do? You okay? You okay?" And he just gave me the nod, like.
But as soon as he's better, you see a rematch happening between him and Poirier.
I don't know. Listen, the rematch is there. You got the rematch with him, like you got the rematch with Diaz. It's always going to be there. I don't know what the landscape's going to look like when he's ready, or how long it's going to be, and so to say definitively. I can't right here, right now. But you always have that rematch.
Usually people talk about the fighters' entrances, but Tai Tuivasa's exit was maybe one of the best exits ever. Would you share a shoey with Tai?
If the world was on fire and everybody was dying of thirst, that's the last fucking thing I would ever do. Ever. But good for him. Not my thing.
And we're finally back. Vegas is open. It's alive. T-Mobile. Do you have any dates, more dates here in Vegas for T-Mobile?
We do. I don't know it off the top of my head, but we will be back to Vegas, yes. Yep.
Great. You mentioned the pay-per-view buys. Before, you were talking a lot about efforts to crack down on online piracy and stuff. Where do you feel like you are with that right now?
Yeah, I got a text tonight that there was something like there were tons of sites out there doing it, but we have a whole system in place that we're so good at that. We're so good at that. We battle that every day. We spend a lot of money to make sure that doesn't happen. The other thing too, hats off to ESPN. No issues tonight whatsoever with anybody purchasing. I was beating the drum all week to do pre-buy, so you're not part of the 2 million people that are trying to jump on at the same time and do it. And I don't know if you guys, I haven't heard one word all night about anybody having trouble buying the fight. So they did a great job.
When it seems like you guys make so much money from ESPN directly now, and from increasingly international rights fees and stuff, and that pay-per-view gets to be a smaller chunk of the business.
Oh no, the pay-per-view is where we live or die. Pay-per-view is our business.
Do you see that as like 5-10 years from now? You think that stays the same way? Because it seems like you're trending more and more in rights fees.
It's going to be interesting to see how how that plays out, because in my opinion, over the next 10 years, the networks and all this stuff are going to go away. Everything's going to be streaming. Everything's going to be streaming, and it's going to be global. And I think that like ABC, CBS, and NBC that we grew up with as the powerhouses in television, there will be 3 of those. Will it be Netflix, ESPN, and YouTube? I don't know. It'll be somebody, there'll be 3 powerful people out there, and they'll start locking up sports rights or whatever's going to do. I think the landscape is going to change so much in the next 10 years. I don't know.
Lastly, what do you think about Greg Hardy at this point? Because he's gotten some good placement, and you guys have had a good push behind him, but he hasn't beat a lot of guys who are like notable still UFC guys.
Well, tonight was a big night for him. Tonight was a really big night. Tai Tuivasa would have been a real win for him. So, yeah, I don't know what this means for him tonight, but
Dana, back over here on your right.
Yep.
So both Conor and Dustin this week, they mentioned that they want to challenge Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title at the end of the year at Allegiant Stadium down the street. But since T-Mobile is the exclusive home for the UFC events in Las Vegas, is Allegiant Stadium even a possibility for that fight?
No. Is my mic working? No.
Not a possibility.
No. You know what kind of a fight you have to go into, a stadium? You gotta be in a place like, for instance, where we do a stadium? When Australia opens back up, and we can go back over there and put on you do an Adesanya versus Whitaker in Australia, or New Zealand or something like that. Those are stadium shows, The other thing, I don't love stadium shows here in the United States and other places. Like in Australia, they're used to stadiums. I think it takes away from the experience. When you watch a fight in an arena like tonight, it has a tighter feel. It has this energy and this buzz inside of it. You can see the fight really well no matter where you're sitting. And I don't like taking away that in-house experience.
So there's no possibility even if a big fight presents itself?
Possible. Allegiant Stadium, the end of this year with Oliveira and Poirier? No, that's not possible.
Okay. So last one for me. There was also a lot of confusion amongst fans about the booking of Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis in Houston. Did the multi-event...
Who's confused?
Fans.
No.
Did the multi-event partnership that the UFC signed with the Toyota Center increase the urgency to have Derek Lewis booked for a title fight in Houston next month?
No. It was almost simultaneous when we did the deal. I'm friends. He's a Fertitta.
Okay, so no relation to that at all?
Oh, he's a Fertitta. He and I... Last time we got together, first of all, when the pandemic we were coming out of the end of the pandemic here, he hit me up and said, Texas needs you. We need you out here really badly. Can you come to Houston? I said, and then I think you guys remember this. I said, fuck, I'll go this weekend. It was like the Stipe fight, the Stipe DC fight. I was going to bring it there that weekend. Some shit went on internally. We couldn't get it done. We go out there. We kill it in Houston. And he's like, that night after the fight, I met with him. And he's like, I want you to come back more and more often. So let's talk about it. We started talking, and we were going to go back to Houston. But there's no... One thing that I never do is never put any pressure on ourselves that we have to go somewhere or whatever. We did the deal because we're friends, we like each other, and we do really good business together. And I like Houston, too. So that's why.
All right. Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
Are we going to London in September?
We what?
Are we going to London in September?
We're supposed to. I think so. I got to go to London here soon. They got me doing something over there. I'll be going there soon, and we're trying to go there before the end of the year.
Is there a concern because there's still a travel ban at the moment?
Yeah, I know. Listen, I don't know how any of this stuff's going to play out. It's we'll see how this winter's coming in, when we start going to the fall and then winter and Delta, and I don't know, man.
Is there any concern that we might start going back and all that stuff, lockdowns and stuff like that?
Other people will go back. I'm not going back. You know what I'm going to do. I'm good. No matter what happens, I'm moving forward. I'm doing my thing. Do I think other sports will possibly shut down? Yeah, I think they probably will again, and but we won't. So you guys will all still be traveling, unless your bosses don't let you. That's it. Thanks for everybody. Have a great night.